Kategaya, myself, Kamhanjiri, the one they were talking about here. Ruvanga was from Ruvari, from another place. So then we came to, so this is the first thing about Kategaya. He was one of the other pioneers of the education system, a few of us who pioneered in that area of Tungamo. Ruhama was together with the Rwampara. So when you talk of Rwampara, that time it includes Ruhama. When you are calling for the Rwampara people, I stood here, but you didn't see me. So that is number one. Pioneer of education from traditional families to this modern education. Then from Bara High School, we went to Tuntare, and from 1960s, the politics started. 1960. Then when the politics started, there had been a party by I.K. Musazi, which was like national, Uganda National Congress. It was going to be like TANU in Tanzania to unite all Ugandans. Because I.K. Musazi had been active in the farmers' movement and so on. But in 1954, some Catholic elite started the DP as a party of Catholics. Now that was the poison now. So this party of Catholics started undermining the Uganda National Congress, the one of Musazi, of Dr. Kununka, of Yokosofati Ngul. Those were all UNC people. Now, in 1960, the Protestants also formed another sectarian party called UPC. And then the Baganda formed Kategaya, the Baganda party for mainly Protestant Baganda. So with the youth, initially we were divided among those parties, according to where our parents were. I was in DP, the Kategaya'S were in UPC, the boys in Uganda here who linked up with us later were in Kategaya. But by because although I'm not a Catholic, there was also some local sectarianism in Ankole, between the cattle keepers and the cultivators, like Rwanda type, Hutu, Tutsi. So that's how the cattle keepers, led by their chiefs who were just manipulating them, had formed an alliance with the Catholics. That's why DP was strong in Ankole. And they were really doing bad things, damaging property, attacking people, abusing people, dividing people. Insecurity. In places like Uganda, you would get coffee being cut at night by rivals. They come and cut somebody's garden. So as we were in Ntare, by 1965, I remember very well, I got together with Eriya Kategaya and the other boys, and we said, this is rubbish. What these leaders are doing is very bad. I remember Kategaya telling me that their UPC leaders, because Kategaya was in UPC, and the UPC had been cheating elections. They were very good at cheating elections. Me, I didn't vote in 1962 because I was 18, I was approaching 18. But the voting that time was 21 years. Kategaya was not yet 21, like me. He was slightly older, but not 21. So he should not have voted. But Kategaya voted illegally, but also voted 8 times. This is what he confessed, like IMC was confessed all the things he stole and all that. So Kategaya also confessed later what they were doing. So I remember Kategaya telling me that their leaders had told them to go and Khema, Cook was an old man, a former chief. Because of the antagonism they were creating among people, they would tell them, you go and Khema. Khema used to insult Kuku. And Kategaya said, how can I insult Kuku? Kuku is like my parent. These people are wrong. So we started seeing the mistakes of UPC, DP, and Kabaka Yeka. That's really how NRM started, 1965. In the school, of course, we had school politics. Richard Kajuka told you how I was his secretary in the Scripture Union. Kajuka was president of the Scripture Union, and I was his secretary, not Scripture Union, Debating Society. Debating Society, 1963. That time, Kajuka was in S5. We were in S3 ourselves that time. Then, when we came to S5, I became the president of the debating club, and we had our local politics there. That's when we started forming this NRM really, fighting sectarianism, 1965. So therefore, Kategaya now becomes a pioneer in the politics of patriotism, of loving Uganda, of loving Africa. That's why you hear the boy is called Machel. Machel is the name of Samora Machel because of his African outlook. Now we try to influence situations, but people were not listening, and it led to the collapse of 1971 when Amin came in. The day Amin came in, I came from Chireka where I was staying. I don't know where Kategaya was staying that time, but with the Rugundas and others, we met at Kanyomozi's house in Bugorobi about 5 o'clock. And we said we must fight Idi Amin. The decision was taken there in Kanyomozi's house. I was staying in Chireka with the Kajuka. Kajuka was also staying in Chireka. He was working in the bank. So I went back and told him to get me some money. Kajuka is the one, so he's part of the subversives. Because he's the one who got me money quickly, and I got two others there. On 27th evening, we entered Tanzania. On 27th evening, we entered Tanzania through Murongo. And continued to Dar es Salaam. Started that war against Amin. Now Kategaya stayed here as our underground coordinator. 71, 72. Now, when you are organizing, you young people, you should understand the importance of appreciating different qualities of people. You hear that Kategaya was very active in the club, that club, some clubs there, Kampala Club and so on. Me, I've never belonged to any club. I'm always either in the house or somewhere else fighting. But Kategaya in their club, they do a lot of networking. While me, I was also using another way of networking. When I came back 72, 71, Kategaya told me that he had linked up with a Kanapa joke. Then a Kanapa joke linked us up with a man called Jacob Okello, who was working in UDC. Now, these are people he met at the Uganda club. I don't think he knew a Kanapa joke before. I didn't know him myself. When he linked up with a Kanapa joke linked us up with the people of Atiak in Uguru and the people of Awere. I think even Kasada the engineer, Kategaya may have linked with him at that club there. The one who linked us up with Mayuge and Busoga, engineer Kauruza Kasada. So when you are organizing, what Bishop himself was saying, the mission, anybody loyal to the mission should be welcome. Although there are different characteristics, this one likes socializing, this one is a loner. Let each one contribute according to his talents. Let everybody contribute. So you can see Kategaya had a different approach, but he brought in quite a lot of contacts which we didn't know. For us, we are starting from the school network, the ones we started with. But now you can see he's now bringing in contacts from another forum, which many of us were not involved in. Now, in the 1981-86 struggle, so 72, Kategaya had to run away. I came, I think it was 72, when he had married Joan. I came and I stayed with them at Mulago. They had a house there. When I was coming from Tanzania in my underground work. Then later on they shifted to the other flats, Bat Valley flats, and left the Mulago house to my underground work. Now, we had a problem in 1973. First of all, we messed up September 72 when Obote launched a badly organized invasion of Uganda. Then it failed, and then we lost a lot of people. But we continued. But we had fresh problems. When we knocked, Kategaya was driving his car, a Renault car. We were coming from the north, from those Gulu. Kategaya knocked a car at, that's why you freedom fighters, you should know that God is always with us also. Don't forget that. Because I had driven with Kategaya to Awere. Awere is 60 miles east of Gulu. We were going to give out guns. We had guns which we had hidden. It's a long story. You can stay here the whole day. Now we went to Awere, met Sergeant Okuya, who had a group there. But we had an infiltrator in the group of Okuya, who alerted Amin's people that Kategaya and myself were coming to Kampala from Gulu. So when we had reached Palenga Primary School, Kategaya knocked a sheep. God brought a sheep to delay us. Knocked the sheep, the car's radiator got damaged, it couldn't move. So we didn't proceed to Kampala. We had to go back to Gulu with Jacob Okero. We stayed in the house, in the lodge for the rest of the day. Now, apparently, the other infiltrator had taken the number of the car of Kategaya and communicated with the police here, and they got the address. When Kategaya, we stayed in Gulu, left at 10 in the night with a hired vehicle. He dropped me at Mulago, went to Bat Valley Flats. When he arrived, the gatekeeper said, you man, a group of people came and jumped over the fence. I tried to challenge them, they ignored me. They went and touched where your car is parked. They didn't find it there, they left. That's what saved him. The fact that the car knocked the sheep and we didn't come. And so you should always see God in all these things. So, because of those problems, Kategaya had to run away. And that's how we now had to recruit Mbabazi. Mbabazi was already there apparently in our structure, but I didn't know him. But when Kategaya left, Rugunda left, Akana Pajok left, Kasada was killed, we had now to resurrect the internal structure. That's how eventually I linked up with Mbabazi and Otafuire, 1974. It's a long story, you will not. So I want to thank Joan and you people who wrote, because many of the things you are writing about, many of them I had forgotten about. And some of them I didn't even know, because when you are involved, you have one angle which you are handling, you don't know the rest. Like in today's paper, there was a headline in the New Vision. Oh, big issue, Museveni was in jail for 2 weeks in Ukonga maximum security prison. After that time, I was in luxury. Ukonga was nice, clean, and so on. Prison all right, but clean. But I had been in prison 7 times. In Tanzania, 7 other times. I think even Ruzindana was involved in some of them when we were locked up in Bukoba, then in other places, then Mwanza, then. So it's good that you write, you capture those stories for the young people to know. I want to congratulate Joan and the people who wrote the other book. So thank you so much. You have made a very good contribution. Even me, who was involved in all this, I am now beginning to. For instance, I didn't know that John is the one who saved us by ringing Sherura. The story they said they were reading here, the young people were reading. Because me, I was in paradise in Ukonga maximum security. we didn't know what was happening outside. Mama was in Nairobi. She didn't know what was happening. But somebody contacted her also through a Greek. We had a Greek who was with us in prison, who contacted another Greek, and I think they contacted you. But now Joan is now telling me, I didn't know myself for the first time that she, because after like 2 weeks they came and released us. I didn't know why. And I didn't get time to check because we were busy all the time. But what I knew in my head was that Mwalimu Nyerere was away. That one I knew when he came back. But I didn't know the details of how the Hollywood, the Hollywood operations by Joan, how she bribed a police lady who then got her out of prison and then got her to a phone, and then the phone he rang Dr. Sherira. Dr. Sherira was in Nairobi, and I had already introduced him to the director of the intelligence of Tanzania, Lawrence Gama. This is the first time I'm hearing that part. That part I never heard. So thank you so much. I think Joan should. What is the prize for literature? Or whatever they call it. Now, the other thing you need to learn about Kategaya is politics of principle, politics of aims. You must have good aims and clear aims, and also have good methods. So because our politics of the NRM have been patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. By the 1960s, we had already crystallized these principles. And that's how we worked. You remember we had some differences with Kategaya. One of those elections, we had some differences with some of the movement people. And the differences were caused by bad work methods. You must have good aims, but also good, correct work methods, so that you arrive at a decision in a democratic way, not any other way. So we had some differences with the Kategaya along the way. I don't remember which election was it, 2016, one of those. But after the elections, I met with Kategaya and said, now, we didn't agree here, but we agree on the East African Federation. And he said, of course he agreed, because we agree on that. I said, therefore, I propose that come back and handle the East African community docket, because that's there we didn't have any disagreement. So when you are working for aims, things are easier than just working for yourself, working for, what do you call it, this ego. Things are much easier. I'm working for aims. That's why you find for us it's not a problem. Like the NRM you're talking about. We had even agreed with Obote when we were fighting 1979. Mwalimu invited me back to Dar es Salaam. I met with Obote, and we formed a joint committee of 7 people. Obote chairman, me vice, 3 members on our side, 4 members on Obote's side, but our side had a right of veto. We had agreed. But then Obote started doing other things. During the fighting of 85, 81, 85, we formed a common front with Professor Rule, a conservative of what they call conservatives. I don't know what they are conserving, of Mengo, but because of dealing with Obote, we agreed. And we made Rule our chairman. I was vice chairman. That's how Chigongo became first vice chairman, because me, I was then first vice chairman of Rule. Only that he died just before 85, 1 year before. Otherwise, he would have been our president when we took power 86. So with Kategaya and we who know what we are doing, it is politics of aims, of mission, not politics of myself, what, no. You should also, as you study what we did, study that also. So therefore, I want to thank John for reminding us, for bringing up this idea of getting together and using this occasion to educate these young people, to pass on the story to them. I want to thank her so much and all those that have helped her. I want to salute Bishop Ahimbisiwe, the young bishop. He's a bishop who is walking in the footsteps of Jesus. Others do so partially. Because Jesus, you know, I was also president of the Scripture Union. And I would have been a bishop if I had not gone for these other things. Actually, my squad mate, Benezia Kisembo, became Bishop of Rwenzori. That was my group of 1962 Christian conference at Nabugabo camp, Christian youth camp. So the mission of Jesus had 4 dimensions. He preached the gospel, healed the sick, fed the hungry, and worked he himself in the carpentry of Joseph. So when you say, I'm just preaching the gospel, but I don't do the other 3, I think you are partial, you are not complete. But Bishop Ahimbisiwe is really handling all the 4 dimensions, and I congratulate him. So it's good that you invited him to link up with these young people so that you can know what he's doing. Our diocese there of Ntungamo, he has grown coffee for them using the church land, which was just there doing nothing. But he has also encouraged the bishops to grow coffee. So I'm glad you invited him. So I thank everybody for remembering Eriya Kategaya, Banyankole se, Otejuka, Tazumura, the one who doesn't remember, doesn't reward those who did a service to him. So thank you so much, all of you, and thank you.
The UPM fraternity, can you stand for recognition again? The children, not the elders, now the children. The grandchildren, in fact, and the children. Your Excellency, they will at an opportune time request to meet you because they need your support in this mentorship journey. Mzee Bintu Yabyejiram. Please come, UPM team. Please come. It would be nice for you to be here. These members of the UPM team. Offsprings. Yes.
They can come and we have
Justinian Katera, Winston Lutehenda, Michelle Martin Mugaju, the UPM Offsprings. That's our association.
come for a group photograph. My staff should organize for them to come and see me.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. That was our prayer. Your Excellency, two things will happen, and we request for your intervention. We'll have the launch, and I'll ask that the teams now bring forward the launch items, where we are launching the memory book, and of course, Mrs. Eriya Kategaya'S book. And both are available, ladies and gentlemen who are here with us. It would be nice for you to leave with a copy. The memory book, as mentioned, has several contributors. Amongst them, Your Excellency, is your very own senior citizen, Mama Rhoda Kalema, who will be turning 96 years old in May. We thank God for life, and may God continue to bless you, Mama Rhoda. So Mzee is joining our offsprings of the UPM family for a photo moment, and then he will officially launch the books, both the memory book and Mrs. Eriya Kategaya'S book. Thereafter, ladies and gentlemen, we will have just the family photo, and I've been requested if we can have some umbrellas, that I invite the Prime Minister's Emeritus and Her Excellency the Vice President to join the family during the launch and witness the signing of those books. So we'll prepare the umbrellas for the Prime Ministers and the Vice President. We will then later invite you, our delegates, to stay with us, because we still have a very short engagement with you. As mentioned by Albert, these are the offsprings of the UPM members, and he was very clear in his statement that UPM is quite different from the NRM. And so we want to appreciate the UPM fraternity that are in this photo. We will now launch the two books, the memory book. Thank you very much, Albert and team. Thank you so much. We'll now launch the memory book. May I invite the family members, Mrs. Joan and the children. They will now be joined by the Prime Minister's Emeritus and the Vice President, who will witness the official launch of the memory book and Reflection of Resilience, a memoir by Mrs. Eriya Kategaya. We want to appreciate the virtual audience, those who join us live on television on UBC TV, and all you, our guests who are here with us. Thank you so much. We request Albert, you should also be close by to witness the signing. Our Albert and his team that were part of the content editors, and of course the Vice President and the former Prime Ministers, the Right Honorable Mama Mbabazi and the Right Honorable Chintu Musoke. In a very special way, we want to appreciate. Can we applaud the President, Your Excellencies? Thank you, Your Excellency. The very first book he was launching is the memory book. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And now we will also have the First Lady, and we were indeed very honored for the First Lady to pen the foreword for Mrs. John Kategaya'S memoir, and we want to thank you very much, Mama, for the foreword. And those of you who have a copy of the book will, of course, see the foreword. So we have His Excellency the President and, of course, Mrs. Joan Kategaya, who have now penned their signatures to the two books. And Your Excellency the President, you will then pause briefly for a photo after the signing with the family members and the Vice President and, of course, the Prime Ministers Emeritus who are here for a photo moment with you. May we appreciate the First Lady, ladies and gentlemen. It should be on your screens. And that particular book, the memoir by Mrs. Joan Kategaya, has a foreword from our very own First Lady. So we want to thank you, Mama, for the foreword. I will now have the Vice President. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We'll now have photos after the Prime Ministers Emeritus have penned their signatures. The photo will include the family members and our leaders. So we'll have a photo. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And now we'll have the photo, the family members and the Vice President, the former Prime Ministers. Please join Mama and His Excellency the President. So we have the immediate family members, yes. And of course, the Vice President and the former Prime Ministers who will be joining them. Immediately after this, we'll have the anthems. And we'll have departure of our chief guests and our dignitaries, but we request you, our invited guests, to stay with us. And once again, we want to appreciate all the contributors to the memory book that included our very own senior citizen, Mama Rhoda Kalema, who God continues to gift with more life, and soon will be turning 96 years old. We want to thank you, Mama. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And we want to appreciate His Excellency the President and the First Lady for joining us at this memorial service, book launch, and a celebration of life of our very own the late Right Honorable Eriya Kategaya. We want to appreciate all of you. Our invited guests, please stay with us. We still have prepared for you, so please do stay with us. We want to appreciate the State House team for organizing this memorial service. We would like to appreciate the church, and in particular Bishop Nathan Ahimsibwe and the All Saints Cathedral for leading us through this memorial service. We want to appreciate all the key stakeholders who've made time to come and join us. On behalf of the family, we want to thank all of you, the dear friends of the late Right Honorable Eriya Kategaya who joined us today. And now, our senior citizen, Mama Rhoda Kalema, is joining at the request of His Excellency the President in this dear photo. We want to appreciate the Uganda Police Brass Band. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We'll now have the anthems very shortly. As soon as His Excellency the President and Mama have returned to the tent, we'll have the anthems. We'll have the anthems in reverse order. May I now request that we all be upstanding. May we stand, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to appreciate our development partners, amongst them our very own FAO country representative, Antonio Querido, who joined us today. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. We want to appreciate all of you, including our senior citizens who joined us for this celebration. Your Excellency will have the anthems in reverse order. But Your Excellency, I received an apology from the Deputy Speaker who had to run to Parliament to chair the session of Parliament that has already begun, and he sends his apologies that he had to leave before you concluded your speech. Ladies and gentlemen, anthems please. Thank you very much, Uganda Police Brass Band. We want to thank you, Your Excellency, once more for joining us. We want to thank the First Lady, Mama Janet Museveni, for joining us this afternoon for this memorial service and the book launch. We would like to appreciate you for joining us and gracing this memorial service on behalf of the Kategaya family. We appreciate you and thank you so much for joining us. This afternoon, we will allow for our chief guest to depart, and thereafter, our dignitaries will depart according to protocol, as advised by protocol, and will allow for you, our guests, ladies and gentlemen, to stay with us. We have lunch ready for you. Please do not leave without joining us for lunch. So we want to request that you stay with us, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy lunch with us. Let's continue this reunion as we celebrate the life of our very own the late Right Honorable Eriya Kategaya'S. So we want to thank you all for joining us and invite you to please pick a book, the memory book, and of course the memoir by Mrs. Joan Kategaya. Both copies are available at the Secretariat right here, and we will receive cash and mobile money. So get yourself a copy. Once again, we want to thank the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, State House, and the church for being part of this memorial service. We appreciate all of you, the dear friends of the late Eriya Kategaya, the honorable ministers, members of parliament, senior citizens, friends of the late, and all of you who joined us today. Thank you so much. May God bless you, and please do join us for lunch. We want to thank Her Excellency the Vice President for joining